These are our stories from the driver's seat. Our opinions only, not our employers or school districts. Student safety and privacy always come first. So no names, faces, routes, or, you know that kid, details ever make it on the podcast.
Hi, welcome back. Thanks for listening. This is School Bus Banter News Edition, episode 14. I'm Joe. Hi, Jerry.
I'm Jerry. Yep, you already said that. I'm well. I'm excited to talk about this news today. One thing that is something that we talk about is seatbelts. And that is always a big topic. But before we do that, if you could do me a favor and go to schoolbusbanter@gmail.com for everything if you want to get a hold of us. Link in the description on Facebook if you're a Facebook person, and then you can text us at 757-529-1574 if you want to send me a picture or a question or whatever. You are welcome to do that. So, you know, we like to do these news things because it's good to talk about, but we have so much to talk about in our other episodes. So we decided, we're going to do one a week. And so today we're going to talk about seatbelts. There has been a fatal school bus crash in Tennessee, and I've seen quite a bit on it because obviously the algorithm shows me, right? Because I'm a school bus driver.
Yeah.
And I look at that stuff. But unfortunately, 2 kids died in it. So we're going to play a video. Now, the video is long. It has audio, so you won't really need it. But so let's play this and then have our big discussion that we always talk about and why kids and parents say, why don't they have seatbelts? Hopefully this will kind of answer the question a little bit. So here we go.
Roll it.
We begin tonight with breaking news as we now have the name of the school bus driver connected to Friday's deadly bus crash over in Carroll County in West Tennessee. The Tennessee Department of Safety says that Sabrina Ducksworth was behind the wheel. Fox 17 News, also has dash cam video showing the crash involving a bus carrying students from Kenwood Middle School in Clarksville. However, we are not showing the entire video out of respect for those children. This is the video. You can see the bus crossing over the center line there before hitting a T-Dot dump truck, sending that bus off the road. Zoe Davis and Ariana Peterson were the 2 students who were killed in the crash. The girls were on a field trip to Jackson when the bus was involved in the crash near Huntington on Friday afternoon. Now, tonight, as the community continues to mourn, state lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are pushing for school bus safety improvements. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar shows us what they want to see.
The community is shattered. You can see a growing memorial here with balloons, candles, plushed animals, and other pieces of memento to remember the children who tragically died in a school bus crash, along with others who were injured. Tennessee lawmakers tell me they are working to upgrade school bus safety in hopes to prevent another tragedy. It's been 3 days since the Kenwood Middle School bus crash in Carroll County injured several and took the lives of 2 children.
It's very heartbreaking.
LaShante's son goes to Kenwood Middle School. She's advocating for better school bus safety, like seatbelts.
Should no parent or sibling be fearing that they child to get on a bus without a seatbelt and they could possibly die.
After Friday's deadly crash, State GOP Senator Mark Pody is working on legislation which would include seatbelts for buses.
School safety is not just on school grounds, but we want to make sure they're safe being transported as well.
Fox 17 News has been reporting on this issue for decades. In 2017, a school bus seatbelt measure was introduced but did not become law.
With so many children getting ready for school, getting on that school bus, I know as a parent I'd want to be able to put a seatbelt on.
Senator Pody tells me cost played a factor.
I think what we would do is put the first piece of legislation with everything, including the retrofit. And then once we see what that fiscal note might be, if I have to come back and just say it's going to be for new buses going forward.
Democratic Representative Ronnie Glynn backs the legislation and tells me you can't put a price tag on children's lives.
I think we have to really be realistic. Can the state afford it? Yes. We'll just have to find a way to make sure we afford it.
Another part of Pody's bill would be the lane keeping assist system. It uses cameras to detect lane markings and automatically steers a driver to prevent lane drifting.
I do like that idea very much, and that may be our first option.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration sent me a statement which reads in part, School buses are the safest way for children to travel to and from school. The NHTSA says children in large school buses are protected by energy-absorbing seat backs, while seat belts in small school buses, they say, are essential. Parents tell me they hope once Pody files his legislation, it can pass this time. Reporting in Clarksville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
As we continue our coverage, Fox 17 News did some digging. We found only a handful of states around the country actually require seatbelts on buses. You see them here, California, Nevada, Texas, assorted around the country, different ones. Now, you should know that Arkansas and Louisiana down here only require them if funding allows, and of course that's part of the conversation here. Questions over safety as several school bus systems in Tennessee continue to deal with driver shortages pretty much every school year. State lawmakers even considered at one point recently dropping the age requirement for bus drivers from 25 down to 23 to help fill that gap. The current age limit was instituted after a deadly school bus crash in Chattanooga 10 years ago in 2016. Investigators found the 24-year-old driver in that case was on his phone and speeding. At the time of the crash, 6 school children were killed.
All right, a lot of information there to process. You want me to go first or?
Processing.
You're processing. So I did do a little follow-up on that crash. It sounds like that driver had an emergency, like some sort of medical emergency. For those audio listeners, basically the driver kind of crossed the center line on a curve and hit a like big old dump truck and kind of went in the ditch. So I know on the original video there's a lot of hate about the distracted driver, but I don't know that for a fact. I'd have to look again. But yeah, it's the age-old question: is it seatbelts? Should we do seatbelts or should we not do seatbelts? Probably going to steal your thunder, Joe. But seatbelts would be crazy in an emergency with a fire. It would be hard to get all those kids unbuckled and out. I mean, sometimes those buses inflame within 90 seconds.
45.
Well, it can be quick, and it would take you longer than 3 minutes to get all those kids unbuckled. Obviously, some can do it themselves, but what do you think about that?
So seatbelts on our like K through 4 run, I think about it all the time and how I would love it sometimes because, right, they're just sitting everywhere, but how they should be. I do see. Okay, so we have this accident where if they were in a seatbelt, were those 2 children that were killed, would they have survived? And B, put that same accident, but with the bus being caught on fire. And now you have to get them out. And if seatbelts would have killed them, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It depends on the accident. So you have an accident where the seatbelts could have saved their lives. Do we have a one button up front where we hit it and all the seatbelts come undone? Like,
Possibly.
Is that something possible? I don't know. But you take that same accident, but turn it into a fire. And now the kids can't be in a seatbelt and have to get out quicker. And maybe 2 would have died because of the seatbelts. How do you
balance that?
Yeah, that's a good word. How do you balance that? And it all depends on the accident. And that one guy said, maybe we look at the buses beeping because it's crossing the center lane. That would be a cheap way to maybe get stuff like that, to have the cars do it. So you could put it on buses, crossing center lanes or something like that. But it's, you can't make the one decision for all situations.
Well, unfortunately, you said at the end of it, they made looks like Tennessee made that rule about age. Tragedy brings bills, right? They made a bill after that. Well, if you're under 25, you can't be a school bus driver, and I don't think you should jump to seatbelts. I guess if you really wanted to do it, you could take the look at how many fires they've had and how many accidents they've had and kind of which is worse. You know what I mean? But you're right. If everyone would have complained, why are there seatbelts on the bus if all those kids burned to death?
The tragedy, I guess, when I read it, I didn't hear about I was reading more about the seatbelt part, so I didn't hear about the 2 deaths, the 2 fatalities. But
And I'm assuming they hit their heads. They went flying because the bus got hit.
probably.
Them, those buses are made to take a hit like that. When you see the impact, the bus doesn't look that fucked up. You know what I mean? But
No,
those
it's
kids
just
probably
look
went
at the angle that was
Yeah.
like.
Well, I mean, they probably went flying in the air and their heads hit something, and that's what killed them. And that's a weird accident. I mean, you're more likely, I would guess, to get in a, like, somebody T-bones you or rear ends you or stuff like that. But I mean, the buses are made to absorb all that stuff. They're so much safer than people don't realize how safe, and they're built for impact.
Yep, we're up higher than a lot of the cars, so a lot of the accidents are going to happen below us.
Yeah.
The seats are designed for that impact, and the structure of the bus also. But with a fire, we were talking about that training that I saw years ago before you worked here, how we lit a bus on fire on purpose, and it was 40. You want those kids out in 45 seconds. That's what you aim for to do your emergency evacuations, because that cab is filled with smoke.
And that's why we have multiple exits. And you imagine one more thing to fight with kids on is like, hey, do you got your seatbelt on? Like, fuck that. Like,
yeah. And you had said previous too that they'd be weapons, used as weapons on the bus.
Yeah.
Like with, that middle part. But it's, at times there are days where I'm like, oh my God, I wish you guys were seatbelted in. And then I'm like, how would I get all you guys out if we had to? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's a good answer. One thing that does bother me, they got a fucking boomer, like, get these people out of friggin', this is kind of a sidebar, like, they need term limits on that shit, because why is like an 85-year-old guy talking about kids in bus safety? I'm not saying he's out of pocket. I don't think he said anything out of pocket, but it just frustrates me that we got these old people that, like, you can't even fucking send an email trying to create bills for, 2026. It just pisses me off. So anyways,
yeah, you want to save that one for another. No, I'm just kidding.
Another show. We don't have a political show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we don't want to lose. We want subscribers. We don't want to lose any.
Oh no, I mean, that's atypical. I mean, that's not the right word. It's not political. It's both sides. It has nothing to do with either side. Yeah. So
and I think that's what bothers me is there's no answer. Yeah. There's no set answer of this is what needs to happen, and it's not passing through, or it costs too money. You want to put a price tag on kids' lives. There is no right answer. I don't know what it is, and that's what I think bothers me the most.
I think the bottom line, you brought up money. You're right. As much as they say to everyone's face that it's about the kids' safety, it boils down to dollars and cents.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it does.
The next one I want to talk about real quick is just a strike, and I know through our district we have a non-striking clause, but this article or video is about First Student, which I think is the biggest busing company in the country. They have a lot of employees, so we'll watch this real quick, and then we'll kind of talk about it.
The national contract for school bus workers expires on Tuesday, but there's no clear idea as to when a strike could possibly happen. A bus monitor I spoke with says the uncertainty is stressful and concerning.
We're worried. We're really nervous.
Cynthia Sarcosta has been a school bus monitor with First Student for 12 years. She says the uncertainty regarding the contract agreement is difficult for staff members to handle.
It affects whether or not we're going to be here or not. We want to be here. We don't know what this future holds, and it's very scary.
Brian Chong, the Teamsters Local 671 communications organizer, says the union is fighting for all 22,000 Teamsters school bus workers guaranteed hours and better health care.
They have no excuse to not settle a contract and pay these Teamsters what they deserve, give them the health insurance they deserve, and the retirement security that they deserve.
In response to the possible strike and ongoing negotiations, First Student says in part, quote, First Student remains committed to preserving the local approach to bargaining, ensuring First Student employees at each location continue to have a meaningful voice in the issues that matter most within the broad national standards. As negotiations continue, school bus workers in Bristol are also facing another challenge. On top of the possible strike, DATCO Bus Company recently won the Bristol Public Schools transportation contract and will be replacing First Students starting this summer, which could possibly leave many Teamsters yard workers without a job if the company doesn't honor their contracts.
Just knowing that I might not be back next year is scary.
The drivers and monitors contracts with First Student will continue through June 30th. DATCO says they intend to consider any current employees who would like to work for the company as long as they reach the requirements for the job. In Bristol, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
First of all, why do those ladies that they interviewed look like they're from the 80s? They have hair from like the 80s, didn't they? Like they're this...
Yeah, but we're bus drivers. I mean, it really, there are some days where it's just ponytail and here we go.
No, I mean, they didn't look bad. They just, their styles were like, oh gosh, honey.
So they do have a bargaining unit, trying to pass. Is that what's happening?
Well, yeah, there's 22,000 employees. So there's a little bit of double stories there. That First Student is without a contract for everybody, I guess, but the local that they were talking about is getting replaced by another company that isn't First Student. So they were kind of talking about if they're going to honor, whatever that was. But I think in general, the entire, because I think, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not the entire, but I mean, that guy, which I like his passion, that represented First Student drivers said it was 22,000 drivers that are kind of dealing with contract stuff. So,
wow,
I don't know how you. That seems like a big hill to climb for like we talk about our association, how small it is, and 22,000 people. Wow.
And what? Yeah, the bargaining stuff. It's so over my head. I believe in it. I'm a part of our union and I help, but the bigger picture, the contracts and what goes into negotiations and stuff like that, it's how do you try and get 22,000 people on board with the same focus of going forward?
Hopefully a lot of online systems, but what do you feel about drivers striking? Do you like that we have a non-striking?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like it because
it kind of fucks the kids, right? Like, it's like, okay, I understand if we can't come up with a contract, right? Like, okay, you can pay me retro pay, like, but we're going to keep working. We're not going to leave the district out to dry.
I firmly believe that, and it almost did happen with our last negotiation, but that they would just pause our contract. And our contract is good, so I'd be happy with that for a while.
Yeah.
Pause our contract, give us what we're continuing getting. If we don't get any upgrades or whatever, that's fine. We're all in this for the reason of we're just going to get kids to school. And then hopefully, it's made up to us later. But if they're saying, you can't drive bus at all, there's absolutely no money, then I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you keep going.
I mean, no, I'm not about. I mean, you're nicer than I am. I think right now is a very pivotal time in the world for transportation drivers, even truckers and a lot of school bus drivers, because we're tired of not getting paid what we should be getting paid, and there's a shortage, right? So guess what? Pay up, because otherwise you're not going to get people to drive. So I'm fine being aggressive with it right now. But again, I would be fine working. And then once we settle the contract, then that's fine. Cause I'm not going to, it's important to me to get the kids to school, cause some of those kids don't have parents that can take them. And I don't think it's right to basically not discipline, but the kids miss out. It's about the kids, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get paid, but I also I don't want those kids to not be able to get to school.
Yeah, I'm glad we have it in our contract. Yep.
Yeah, me too.
To answer your question that you asked,
I know
5 minutes ago.
All right, this last one, and I know we just briefly touch on these. If you want to, send us a comment on these. If you have an opinion on it, we should probably post these in our Facebook group. Maybe that'll give a job for you. You can take care of the Facebook group. Keep that active for me. But
I don't even know what you're talking about already.
Oh my Jesus. So this Massachusetts school bus driver was fired after allegedly urinating inside a bus with students on board. So what is happening? We're having sex in the buses. We're urinating.
Yeah.
Officials say the 71-year-old driver was on his way to elementary school with 12 pre-K to second grade students. He said instructed the kids to move the back of the bus before allegedly relieving himself while seated behind the wheel. After the bus arrived at school, some students reported the behavior to the teachers, prompting an investigation. No criminal charges have been filed, but obviously he has been fired from his job.
Guess what today? You kids all get to sit in the back.
The problem is
sit wherever you want, Day.
The problem is he probably explained too much what happened, like what he was going to do. If he told them to go back there, and he probably could have got away with it, other than there's, cameras on the buses.
Cameras.
So here's the thing. I get it. Like for whatever reason, the way I eat my food during the day and what I drink, when I leave for my afternoon run, I pee when I leave from home. I pee when I get to the lounge. And by the time I get done with my upper kids, I'm running to the bathroom again. So it's like everything decides to empty in that 2 hours. And I get it. I guess if I really had to go that bad, I would just piss my pants.
I've been there. Like I've almost had to do that, because when times are desperate, you can't go in the bus and you can't pull over. And I mean,
here's a question for you. Here's the scenario. You're driving down, you pass a McDonald's and you're like, I gotta go. Do you leave the kids on the bus? Like, that's a better option, right?
No.
Than peeing on the bus. No. You get two options. Don't shake your head yet. Listen to my scenario. Peeing on the bus with children, or getting off the bus and running in to go pee at McDonald's and getting back on and continuing. Which one's better?
The better one is going to McDonald's, but you're both going to lose the job.
Think so?
Yes.
I think
yes.
You wouldn't lose your job for the second one, but you would be disciplined.
I mean,
because think about it. How many times, at what point, now this is in the wild, so I get it, but at what point are you responsible for those kids the whole time? Meaning, like, so they let the kids out, there's no teachers out when we're going to load on the bus, right? What to say if the buses aren't there yet and the kids are running around the sidewalk? Like, that's okay, right? Because it's on school property.
Yep.
But you think that being off school property, them staying on the bus, shutting the door, taking the key, I mean, what do you got? I mean, I can be in and out of McDonald's in 30 seconds.
You can't leave. You can't leave. You can't leave your seat.
Okay.
You cannot leave.
Okay.
No.
All right. But you think you'd be fired for that?
You pee in your pants. If you left the bus, yes. If you peed your pants, you would not be fired. No.
No, well, I know you wouldn't for that. I don't think you'd be fired if you left the bus. I think you'd be written up and you better not do it again. But here's one of the problems. The dude's 71, okay?
Yeah.
Like, no offense. Like, I am glad you're there, but clearly you have some issues, and that is part of getting older, right? Like, it is. You do have to budget if you got to know you're going to be on this bus with these kids for a certain amount of time. Like, when I do my extra run, like, I make sure I go right before I leave, because I know I have kids on that bus the entire time, and I can't leave them.
You can't.
And so you just got to be prepared.
After you drop all your kids off in the morning and then you're getting ready to do your extra run at 8:30 there, do you go into the high school at that point too?
No, I go at my elementary. Right.
Oh,
right. When I drop the kids off, I go right in the the door doesn't even, it just has like daycare in there, and no one's ever in there. Like, I use the kids' bathroom because it's just
we do too.
Yeah, but I mean, I think at 71, if you can't control how much you intake and budget that or
1 cup of coffee, that's it.
Yeah. I have a work partner, and you know him very well too. He told me he drinks 128 ounces of water a day. Okay. And 32 ounces of coffee.
Oh, I drink 120 ounces of water a day.
That's wild. If I drank that much water, I would be peeing every 35 seconds.
Well, yep. Yeah, we do.
Well, how do you drive for that long then?
Because I know when I can do it and when I don't. So a lot of my water will come in the afternoon, but then I stop. And then a lot of it comes in the afternoon, and I pee all night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wake up and go to the bathroom probably 3 times, but I am addicted to the water, and I fill my Stanley up 4 times, unless it's my 40 ouncer, then I fill it up 3 times.
Damn, that's a lot. It
is.
When you told me that,
I
I
have
was
to
like,
go now.
do you? Hey, have you ever seen Goonies?
You're going to make me wait. No.
My work partner hasn't seen Goonies either. That is an 80s classic movie. You guys can fuck off.
There are a lot of 80s classic movies I have not seen.
He hasn't watched it either. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. There's a scene where there goes, hey, Mikey, you gotta go to the bathroom. It's so good. It's about kids. It's more of a boy movie because it's like kids angst in your 80s where you're just like no TV, no internet, and you're out just like on adventures. It's so fucking good. Oh, I can't believe you haven't seen it. That's your homework. 2 weeks from now, you better watch the Goonies. It's amazing. All right, that's all I got. Don't pee on your bus with children on it. They frown upon that. And so
yeah. Plan your liquid intake, definitely. Same with eating. I don't want to eat before either because my colon will dictate when I have to stop.
Right, for sure. And I do not like any volume of pee in my bladder. Like it bothers me so much. Like I don't care where it is. If it's if we go out and there's a toilet available and I have any pressure, I'm going. Don't care where it is. I will go to the bathroom. So on that note,
I have to go.
Yeah, on that note. So, all right. Well,
good talk, partner.
Good talk about peas. Anything else you want to tell the folks before we sign off?
Text Jerry at all times.
I have the do not disturb on, so it doesn't matter. You can text me at 3 in the morning. It's not going to wake me up.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Same bus.
Same kids.
Different stories.
And remember, just say 10-4.